Khan. Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, all praises, and all glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. That is the true name of the Heavenly Father, and the name of His only begotten Son, Mashiach Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It's Brother Washanya with the church at WFI Little Rock, coming back with a quick lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? So today, as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about the season of sorrow, right? The season of sorrow, because that's what season we're in, man. Right? A lot of brothers and sisters, they catching hell. A lot of brothers and sisters, they going through it. Depression, anxiety, stresses, and woes of the world. You understand? We just have to understand that this is the lot, right? This is the condition of the battle that the followers, the true believers of a Mashiach Yahushua are going to be facing on a daily basis, man. You're going to be catching hell. You're going to be catching trial and tribulation back to back to back to back. And if it's going to feel like nothing's letting up, man. You're going to question things like, why does this keep happening? It's because this is the condition of the battle, right? When Yahushua was on the scene, it wasn't, roses and daisies, parties, turning up, kicking it, relaxing. No, Yahushua was constantly tested. He was always on the move. He was always putting in work, man. When we get into this lesson, Lord willing, is edifying. We're just kind of going to go into how, man, we in the season of sorrow and how to get through these seasons or this season, because, hey, this is what it is. This is the last days, and it's only going to get worse, man, right? We're going through it on a physical, mental, and most importantly, spiritual level, catching hell. So we have to acquire this knowledge and wisdom and understanding in order to be stable, in order to stay on a straight path, man, whenever you have so many obstacles and things trying to pull you away, right? So nevertheless, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, right? Ecclesiastes chapter 3, from the top, it says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, right? So there's a season, an appointed time by the Most High for everything that goes on in this earth, man, right? There's a time for everything. It literally tells you. Let's just, for time's sake, we're just going to jump to verse 4, right? It says, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, man. So there's a time to mourn, man. And that's what time we're living in. We're not living in a time of, happy-go-lucky, like people want you to act on these so-called holidays. They want you to be all cheery, all jolly, But in reality, this is not a happy time that we're living in. The earth itself is in a state of mourning, right? There's death at an all-time high. We're on the brink of World War III, right? You got world leaders getting assassinated. Understand? You have animal life damn near going extinct, right? Everything is polluted, genetically modified, artificial intelligence taking over, taking all the jobs, right? Everything is shifting. But while the saints are mourning, you have the people in the world trying to live it up. They're holding on to trying to be happy, trying to maintain this quote unquote lifestyle in a world that's literally falling apart, man. And what I mean by that world that's falling apart, I'm talking about America, man. Babylon the Great and all these other nations as well, falling apart. The time of the Gentiles is coming to an end because our Lord Yahushua is on his way back, man. Right? But as we get closer and closer unto the coming of our Lord, it's going to get harder, man. This walk is going to get harder. It's not going to get easier, contrary to popular belief. It's going to get harder. You're going to be tested more, tempted more, tried more, man. Again, it says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 4 again, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, man. It's not time to be dancing. It's not time to be laughing. It's not time for games, man. Not time to be turning up, partying, hitting the club, getting drunk, man. It's time to dial in and really, really remember what the Lord did for us and what he's going to do, right? Let's read this in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 1, right? 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and 1, and it reads, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's what time period we're living in right now, where the Most High is visiting this world, man, with judgment. That's how the Most High is known. Pursuing the book of Psalms, chapter 9 and verse 16, the Most High is known by the judgments which he executes, right? And there has been plenty of judgment going on here in the recent years, man. For instance, an example, what the Lord is doing in Gaza, right? What the Lord did to Turkey in that massive earthquake, right? What the Lord is doing in Ukraine, understand? What the Lord is doing to the United States infrastructure, having these ships, you know, conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, having ships run into these bridges. Now it's creating supply shocks, you know, mass shooting after mass shooting, right? Hey, look, this is all the Most High's doings. The Most High is creating the uproars of the people, the earthquakes, the famines, the wars, all of these things. It's all the Most High doing these things. That's why it says you have to measure the time diligently to see what time you're living in. Is it a time of peace or is it a time of war? Is it a time to be laughing and playing games and having fun, or is it time to get real, to get serious? Because it's about to get real out here, man. You know, it's about to get serious out here. We're about to experience things that you would have never thought that you would see in your lifetime, man. That your mind can't even imagine, that you've only seen on the movies, man. You're about to experience that in real time in your life, wherever you are, right? You're the suburbs, the projects, the cities, the country. You're going to experience the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? That's what time period we're living in. So I'm gonna keep reading, right? Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So the end is manifest. And this was being said 2,500 years ago to Ezra, man, by the angel. The angel told Ezra, man, he was living in the end. He said, look, the end is plain. The end is clear. That's what it means, manifest, right? He said, it's plain to see. How much more 2,500 years later? As a matter of fact, Ezra even spoke on that. He spoke how bad it would be during our lifetime. Watch this. How when we get closer to the Lord's coming, it's only going to get worse, like I was saying. It's not going to get any easier. It's only going to get more wicked out here. It's only going to get more evil. You're only going to be filled with more sorrow, man. That's where you have to have that faith and that hope and trust in the Lord. Right, let's get to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. And I'm going to start at verse 21, right? Then I'll jump back down. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 21, it reads, Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? So there was a time here in America where victuals was so good cheap, man. Right? You could go into the gas station or to the Walmart. You could get a candy bar for 10 cents, right? 10 cents a pop. You could fill up your car. And I know this for a fact because I was just talking to an old Edomite, because in my occupation, I deal with, all nations, right? He told me, man, the price, the value of the dollar is depreciated so much. Everything has literally tripled from the days when I was a youngin' like yourself, right? He told me it took $2 to fill up the gas, to put the gas tank on full, man. $2. Nowadays, it takes 40 plus, depending on what car you got. You understand? Those were the days when the victuals was so good cheap upon the earth. But it said, even then, right? It said, even then shall evils grow upon the earth, man. Because they thought themselves to be in good case. But things just kept progressively getting more evil, more wicked, more dark, more chaos, more confusion, more wars, more turmoil and tumults, man. Because it's all Yahweh Shem Shai is doing. Because at that time where they thought it was all gravy, guess who was waking up, man? Guess where that rumbling was coming from? Guess where the dry bones started connecting again, right? Yeah, the Israelites started waking up. That's what happened. And their empire, their kingdom has started crumbling, man. And so everything is, hey, it's on its last leg. So people losing their mind out here, man, right? Nevertheless, don't want to get too far off the topic, right? So we got to understand that we living in the last days, man. Ezra was living in the last days, so how much more us, right? But I'm gonna jump back up, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18. It says, I'm gonna start at verse 17. Let's see if I want to start it. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 13. Really, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 is a fire chapter, right? The whole thing is fire. For time's sake, I'm gonna just start at verse 13, right? It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So what arrows or what archer do you know who is shooting arrows from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth? It's unheard of. They're not doing that because this is not talking about a regular arrow. This is actually talking about an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile that these nations are using for military combat, right? For World War III. This is the Most High, though, that's shooting the bow. Why? Because he controls everything. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17, Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1 lets you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and that the king's heart is in the Lord's hand. He controls their minds. He controls their actions and their movements. The same thing that he did to the Pharaoh in ancient Egypt when he wouldn't let us go, right? Again, it says, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So this isn't talking about the Persian army back in the time of Ezra, man. This is talking about the Babylonians or the Greeks or the Romans because they did not have the military weaponry to shoot a missile or an arrow or a javelin, whatever the case may be. They didn't have that type of technology to shoot whatever they're shooting from one end of the earth to the other one. So this is talking about our present time, right? So the Lord's letting you know what time period this is happening. Verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. You see that? So the Most High is sending his plagues upon the earth, man. That's why it's so much chaos going on. Literally, it's the Most High doing it. It says the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. So whenever them plagues start popping up, it's really going to be whenever World War III starts, which is very soon. Some could argue that World War III is already in effect right now. And that America, guess what? America is right in the midst of it. It's actually at the forefront of it. Why? Because America is arming, supplying, and funding Ukraine. They're arming, funding, and supplying Israel against Hamas, against Iran. Israel just assassinated one of Iran's top generals, man, today or yesterday, right? Who's funding, arming, and supplying them? America, right? America has its foot in everybody else's business, man. So they're right at the forefront of World War III, right? But again, these plagues are really going to start ramping up when, you know, it's undoubtedly World War III. But hey, who knows? You know, these elitists, the people that control the narrative, that control what you consume as far as your media, they're only going to tell you what they want you to know. So that's why you have to watch like the Lord said. You have to measure the time diligently, like the Lord said, because Yahweh Shai is coming back like a thief in the night. And World War III can be popping off right now. And you simple Americans, you simple Babylonians, you don't even know, because the people that control you, they're not letting you know anything. So you have to be watching, right? Paying close attention to what's going on, making sure that you are ready for the coming of the Lord, because he's coming back like a thief in the night, right? Let's keep reading. Verse 16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? Right, though. So, this is a different topic for a different day, but through the Spirit, Ezra is back on the earth right now, man. Ezra, the prophet, the mighty scribe, he is back on the earth today. He said, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? All right, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famines and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come, man? Understand? So we living, like I said, in the season of sorrow, but the thing is, we ain't seen nothing yet. It's only going to get worse. We're experiencing more so on a mental and a spiritual level right now, having to deal with our jobs, families, children, wives, things of that nature. That's vexing to the spirit, right? Because, there's so many things that has you distracted from serving the Most High and the Spirit. You understand? So it's vexing, man. You're full of sorrow. You just want this thing to be over with. You want it to end, right? We just got to keep on enduring, because, again, we ain't seen nothing yet. When these plagues start to really hit, and now you're seeing these things in the physical, right? Abba be with you, man. Abba, hey, Lord be with you, man. But yeah, come on, let's go ahead and go to Daniel, right? Let's go to Daniel chapter 12. Right, Slaki. Come on, this book of Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4, right? Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4. And it reads, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So in the end, guess what? Knowledge is going to be increased. Yeah, we got the internet, right? We have, Google and all of these different sources at the palm of our hands. Understand? We can be taught a whole nother language, off of an app. Knowledge is being increased in these last days. The truth is coming out more than it ever has, right? That's what the Lord said was going to happen. He said knowledge is going to be increased. But what happens whenever knowledge is increased? Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 18. Let's get that real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 18, right? And it reads, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow, man. You see that? So Daniel 12 and 4 said that in the end, knowledge will be increased. But wisdom in the book of Ecclesiastes tells us that when you increase in knowledge, you're also going to increase in sorrow, especially whenever you're an Israelite and you found out the truth, and it seems like no one else understands the truth. So you're misunderstood now, right? And then you're having to separate yourself from everything that you once knew. So now you're walking this lonely path, right? And then, it's great to understand that you're one of God's chosen people. It's great to understand that the promises and the covenants and the glory and everything that the Most High said unto your forefathers also belongs to you. But then that bitterness comes in, the harsh reality of all the things that not only do you face, but that you're going to have to experience as you continue down this road. Because you're going to see family members die. You're going to see friends get killed out here, man, by the judgments of the Lord. And then you yourself are going to be persecuted, man. You yourself are going to be betrayed, right? Hey, so, and again, so right now, whenever you're dealing with the stresses of life that make you sorrowful, that make you, want to give up, you're being vexed, like I said, by external sources, whether it be family, friends, jobs, just things not going your way. Hey, look, all those things, they don't matter, all right? All of these things were put upon us as a cross that we have to carry, right? Because it's easy to want to go back. It's easy for you to say, look, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to give up. I got to do something else, right? But why would you do something else whenever the Most High despises that action? That's why he stopped doing it in the first place. Understand? Like, I'll give a brief example. When I was in the world, I used to trap. I used to sell drugs, and I made good money off of that. But was it good in the eyes of the Most High? No, of course not, right? So whenever I started coming into the faith, I gave it up unto the Most High. Now, what a brother might do when he has to stop selling work and, get a regular job like a regular civilian, things might get a little difficult. And then all of a sudden you have this newfound stress that's laid upon you, and you're sorrowful because you don't know what to do, because you were making good money. You weren't really struggling for anything. Now all of a sudden you living for God, you following the commandments, and it's hard, man. It's tough. But that's just a trial, man. That's the Most High testing you. Are you going to trust him and depend on him, or are you going to go back to what was easy and forsake the Lord so that you can get by, right? Without any struggle, without any worry, without any tribulation. It's not what the Most High wants you to do. That's just a small example, right? So again, when we start increasing in wisdom, increasing in knowledge, in faith, you're still going to be tried, bro. It's not going to stop. Hey, Sirach chapter 2, verse 1, a classic, right? Tells you, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation, right? Name one of the prophets. Name any holy man in the Bible that wasn't tempted, man, with something that wasn't put through a fiery test. Look, bro, Yahushua had to die, man. He had to suffer. Understand? Ezekiel, the Most High killed him. The Most High took his wife away from him, man. And he said, don't cry about it. All right? So look, we gonna suffer in this thing. We gonna be sorrowful in this thing. And that's what comes with this walk, right? It's not that wide gate, that broad way. You can just skip down and, have a good time. Because when you reach the end of that wide and broad gate, you know what's at the end of that? A death by pain. A very excruciating death that something that you couldn't even imagine, right? But again, this is our lot because we are followers of Mashiach Yahushua. We are one with him. He is the head of the church, right? So if he's the head and we are the body, we're going to experience the same thing that the head did, man. Right? We're going to feel that same type of pain. Let's get this, right? Yahushua himself, he did not have it easy, man. He was going through it as well. As a matter of fact, Isaiah 53 in my Bible, I got like subtitles, right? Isaiah 53, it says a man of sorrows, right? Isaiah 53 commonly is known as the suffering servant because he suffered, man. Yahushua suffered, and we have to arm ourselves with that same mind as the Lord, that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be sweet all the time. You're going to have times where you're able to kick up, and relax with the brothers, with your wife, with your children. All that's beautiful, understand? But for the most part, we have to arm ourselves with the mind of the Lord, that he didn't come here to serve himself. He didn't come here to serve his flesh, to do what he wanted to do. He didn't come to do his own will. All right, we'll get into that. Isaiah chapter 53, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, who hath believed our reports? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? So to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Your arm represents your strength, right? And Yahweh Shai is the strength of Yahweh, right? Because Yahweh Shai, he's literally created everything. But the Most High created Yahweh Shai, right? This world was made for Yahweh Shai. He is the arm of the Lord. And he's not revealed unto everybody. He told the disciples in the book of Matthew chapter 13, hey, it's only given to you to know the secrets of the mystery of the kingdom. Or, you know what I'm saying? The mysteries of the kingdom. It's not given to everybody. The Most High did not reveal Yahweh Shai to everybody. That's also why Yahweh Shai said, you cannot come to Yahweh Shai unless the Father draw you, right? You have to be chosen. But let's keep reading verse 2. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Think about that, man. All right? Think about that right there. It said that in Yahweh Shai, there was no beauty in him that we should desire him. Meaning he was literally a quote-unquote undesirable, man. A loner. They would call him a loser, man, in this world. A lame. Right? That's what they would call Yahweh Shai. There is no beauty in him that we should desire him, man. How wicked, bro. That's why he said in John 7:24, judge no man by the appearance, man. Roughly paraphrasing. Right? Verse 3. So, and not only that, but think about that, man. You know? Think about you being a loner. Like you being despised. Nobody want to kick it with you. Nobody want to hang out. Nobody want to talk to you. They think you weird. All right? They think you goofy. But it sounds awfully a lot like how it is when you come into this truth. You understand? They call you weird. They say you ain't crazy. He's lost his mind. Oh, he's on some other stuff. And then they make fun of how you look now. You dressing like a Power Ranger, right? Yo, he's Muslim. You understand? Hey, you gotta arm yourself with that same mindset. You're gonna suffer the same things Yahweh Shai did. Verse 3. He is despised. Again, Yahweh Shai, the true Messiah, our Lord, he was despised. And he's still despised to this day. Little do you know, because a lot of people, they still think of Caesarea Borgia when they think about Christ. That's why they fill up the churches like stadiums. Understand? You know, they just say Christ is the reason for the season. They don't really know the Messiah, because if the Messiah was on the scene today, they would say all them harsh things like I just mentioned about him. They would call him a nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? They would say, look, pick up the ball and dribble. You know what I'm saying? Again, it says, he is despised, verse 3, he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. So that hurt, man. That hurt him, right? That hurt him. He was acquainted with grief. He was a man of sorrows, right? You know, hey, he was going through it, man, catching hell, right? It says, and we hid it. It's like, and we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. So Christ was a black sheep, man, right? He was a black sheep. He was a extrovert, right? Or introvert, rather. He was an introvert, you know? And he made that sacrifice for us so that we could live after being picked on, right? After being, you know, abused, mocked, spit at, slapped, you know what I'm saying? Crucified, had the crown of thorns put on his head, was whipped, man, with scorpion tips, was stabbed in his side, man. You know, he suffered, bro. And he was literally, you know, one of those people that would be picked on. You feel me? Yahweh Shai was one of them people that would be picked on. And yet, he died for your ungrateful ass. You know what I'm saying? It's lucky for the language. You know, we just got to keep that in mind, because we are going through the same things and will continue to go through the same things as long as we are believers and followers of Mashiach Yahushua, man. Right? Let's get this real quick in the book of Matthew chapter 26, right? God. Matthew chapter 26. And verse 36. Matthew chapter 26 and verse 36, it reads, Then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, Sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. You see that? He began to be sorrowful and very heavy, man. And that just means he was grieved. You understand? Because why? He is about to be crucified. He is about to be tortured, man. And he's with his brothers, man. You know, his closest brothers, you know. And he's getting ready to put himself on that cross. That's a lot to carry, man. That's a lot on somebody's mind. And you knowing this beforehand, I mean, I couldn't imagine it. You know, you knowing how you're about to go out, you knowing everything that's coming to you. And how did Yahushua know everything that was coming to him? Because it's written in the prophets, man. It's written in the Psalms, right? But nevertheless, it says, verse 38, Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. He said, tarry ye here and watch with me, man. He said that his soul was exceeding sorrowful even unto death, man. So when you think you're ready to give up, how much more Yahushua, man? He said, look, bro, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I just want to die, bro. I'm be ready. Because I know, I know a lot of brothers and sisters, man, who have that thought. Like, man, I just feel like giving up. I can't do it no more. I'd rather not be here. Right? Yahushua, he was feeling that same way, man. He said, I'm exceeding sorrowful even unto death, man. Right? Verse 39. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Right? So he didn't want to die, man. He didn't want to go through that pain, right? That suffering, that torture and torment. He didn't want to go through that. But he understood his mission. He understood the reward. And he understood that this had to happen for the salvation of the nation of Israel. Right? Because that was the Most High's will. Again, Yahushua didn't come to do his own thing. He could have got himself down off the cross. He could have called him an army of angels, man, to fight against Esau and his evil minions. But no, he fulfilled the Father's will. He finished the plan. All right. Let's go to Luke 22. Watch this. Luke chapter 22 and verse 40. Right. Luke chapter 22 and verse 40. It reads, And when he was at the place, he said unto them, Pray ye that ye enter not into temptation. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast, and kneeled down and prayed, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. It says, And there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him. So if you pray into the Most High in your time of trial and your tribulation, the Most High can actually send ministering spirits unto you to strengthen you, man, to give you a boost of zeal, right? A boost that's going to get you through that trial, to help you endure it, right? To help you suffer it. Let's keep reading. It says, verse 44, In being in an agony, he prayed more earnestly. So he was still going through it. And while he's going through it, while he's in agony, he's praying even harder, man. It says, and again, Yahweh Shai is that example, man. He is that example that we have to literally mind ourselves to be like, right? It says, and being in agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweats was as it were great drops of blood falling down to the ground. So he was sweating profusely, man. Big sweats, big sweat drops, man. Because he's going through it, bro. It says, verse 45, and when he rose up from prayer and was come to his disciples, he found them sleeping for sorrow, man. So even his disciples, man, Peter, James, and John, they were sorrowful too. Why? Because Yahweh Shai told them, man, look, hey, the hour is coming. And now is, right? He told them, look, bro, I'm about to go, man. I'm about to go do this. They were sorrowful. They were following Yahweh Shai. They seen what type of man he was, his mannerisms, his actions. They were men of sorrow as well. They were acquainted with grief as well. Hey, look, Peter and James and John and the disciples, man, they were outcast too. Understand? But I'm not gonna get too much more, man. You know, just wanted to bring this out through the Spirit, man. That we're in that season of sorrow, and just we don't need to be dismayed or upset whenever we're not able to do the things that other people are doing, because we're dedicating our lives unto the Lord. Because a lot of people, they get frustrated and they get flustered because they want to live a so-called lavish life where they're not taking enough vacation, or they're not, able to take trips and do these, do this and do that. At the end of the day, this walk is about sacrifice, man. And that's what Yahweh Shai did for us. He made a sacrifice. He sacrificed himself, right? Come on, let's get this Luke 6:40. Right? Luke chapter 6 and verse 40. The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. I'm going to read it again. The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master, man. So we have to be just like Yahweh Shai, because we're not above him. We are his disciples, his students and followers. So if we're following Yahweh Shai, that would make him our teacher and our leader. So we're supposed to be like him. We're supposed to be like our master. And if we're like our master, then we're going to suffer the same things he did. We're going to go through the same trials and tribulations and persecutions as him. And that's what's going to make you perfect, man, when you live a life like him, because guess what? He was perfect, right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 2. Right? And it reads, Ecclesiastes 7 and 2, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness and of the countenance of the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the fools is in the house of mirth, man. So again, right, we're in a season of sorrow, having that same mindset as our Lord Yahweh Shai. Because as these days get colder and colder, you would be a fool to think it's all fun and games, to think it's all about turning up and fulfilling the lust of the flesh, just getting your rocks off, man, partying and turning up and trying to be like these so-called content and creators and influencers, man. What are they influencing you to do? Be wicked as hell, man. Keep your mind off of the Most High and his will, right? Because that's, again, like a lot of the things that our people aspire to be are coming from these so-called influencers that are being paid millions and millions of dollars to keep you distracted from really what's important, man. Again, don't get caught in the trap. Don't get fooled, man. It says that what? The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. And Yahweh Shai told us that he would liken a wise man unto him that builds his house on a rock, right? And that rock is him. And he's saying that the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. So if you are really following what the Lord said and what the Lord told us, man, you wouldn't be laughing, man. You wouldn't be in the house of mirth, right? Talking about family reunions, talking about Easter egg hunting, our 4th of July plans. That's all vanity, bro, and that's what the people of the world are partaking in. But Yahushua said his world, hey, he's not of this world. You know, his kingdom isn't of this world. That's what I wanted. His kingdom is not of this world, right? Let's get John 16:20, right? John chapter 16 and verse 20. Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. And ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. Keep that in mind when you're going through it, man. When you catch a hell and you're like, man, I just want to break. That break will come soon enough. I promise you. Trust me. Don't trust me, but trust the Lord. Because that's what the Lord said, right? He said, look, verily, verily, I say to you that you shall weep and lament. So don't marvel, bro. Don't be dismayed when you're going through it and you weeping, you lamenting, you catching hell. Man, you like, right? Because Yahushua told us that it would happen. And ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned to joy, right? So soon enough, this bad dream, this nightmare, this hell and captivity, the curses, the torture, man, the sorrow, all of that's going to be, you know, as if it never happened in the first place, you know? And as you keep on reading this account, that's really what it go into. Verse 21, a woman when she is in travail have sorrow because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more than anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. So, hey, the Most High, through Yahushua, he likened the sorrow that we're experiencing like a woman giving birth, right? And if you've ever seen a woman give birth, you know, without the epidural, right? Without the epidural, then you can see her screaming. You can see her going through it and crying and yelling. That's what the Most High is likening this walk to, man. A woman giving birth. And then what? It says, but as soon as she is delivered of the child. So whenever that child comes forth, that's whenever we are being delivered from this hell, right? And whenever that child comes forth, which is symbolic for Yahushua, it says what? She remembereth no more than anguish. So all the things that we've been going through, all the hell that we've been facing, all the sorrow that we've had, it's going to be no more. It's going to be like it never happened in the first place, man. Keep that in mind. It weighs down on the flesh, right? It weighs down on your carnal mind, on that brain, right? That's why you have to stay occupied in the spirit. Keep that spirit lit. Keep that candle going. Keep pouring oil on that flame so that fire can keep burning, right? Because once it goes out, then you really start letting the flesh affect you. Understand? Come on. Yeah, I'm not gonna get. I'm just gonna get a couple more. And I'm gonna close out right through the spirit. Right, this is the book of Baruch. Baruch, chapter 4. We're gonna start at 23. Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 23. It reads, "For I sent you out with mourning and weeping." So we've been sent out. Right, out of where? Out of our land. Right, we're not in Jerusalem, bro. We're in so-called Babylon the Great, in the four corners of the earth, being scattered abroad. And we're full of weeping and mourning, man. We're full of weeping and mourning. It's always somebody going through it. Always somebody getting locked up. Always somebody dying. Always somebody catching an illness or disease. Always somebody getting jacked up. Always somebody fighting, right? Shooting, high on crack, drunk, out of their mind, right? That's what it means when the Most High said he sent us out with mourning and weeping, rather. Right, again, Baruch 4:23. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but God, Yahweh, will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. Right? So these nations, they've been seeing us weep. They've been seeing us mourn. They've been seeing us catch hell, man, for all this time. It says, shortly they gonna see the salvation that is to come unto you, man. Keep that in mind. Verse 25, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from God. Because again, we are deserving. As a matter of fact, we deserve more for all of the things that we've done unto our God, man. And for what we've done to his son. And for what we've done to each other. So we have to suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon us, man. Because it is well deserved. He says, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High, for thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shall tread upon his neck, man. Right, so that's what's coming. Us actually treading upon the neck of our enemies, the ones that have destroyed and broke us down to where we are weeping, to where we are mourning, to where we are stressed and vexed and have to get up every single day and work for these damn devils, man. Hey, death to Esau, man. Right? And these other nations too, right? But I'm gonna just read these last two verses, right? 2 Ezra chapter 7, verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say, man. So if you be overcome, meaning if you let your flesh overcome you, if you let the stresses and the woes of this world overcome you, you're going to suffer, man. Not only are you going to suffer in the world, but you're going to suffer when the Lord come back and destroy you, man. That's a lose-lose. Because as a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian in this world, you're going to suffer regardless, man. You're going to catch hell regardless. So you might as well suffer for the Lord and get a reward at the end. Why would you live a life of hell just to die again, man? Why would you live a life of suffering just to suffer more? All right? Because the Most High, he said, man, if you suffer for me, for his name's sake, then your reward is great in the kingdom of heaven. Right? This is 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. Ye are of the Most High little children, and have overcome